I feel like the big guy is all the way back. He's all the way back now. He's been, he's been ornery. He's been edgy because he hasn't been able to lift weights recently because of an elbow issue. Has an MRI. Feels like he's in the clear, so he's starting to lift weights again. He's starting to get back in that good mood because, A, he's building back up his rhythm. B, he's lifting weights, which is literally his favorite thing to do. But also, he's got mold in his big old 100-ounce water bottle. It's been a while since we've had that. I just feel like you're all the way back. Like everything is falling into place and you're becoming you once again as we get closer and closer to your day of birth.
This is a lot of mold. I've never had this much mold, but it wasn't moldy yesterday, and I rinse it out with water. So what the hell happened?
Now, I don't consider myself a mycologist or an expert on mold and spores.
Here comes everybody saying Josh uses big words.
But I believe for mold, moisture is one of the important factors. So just rinsing it and not using any soap or detergent of any sort would lend itself to, maybe yourself getting a little mold in things.
But I leave the cap off. Now I've drank a third of it.
so here's it out, Josh. What's the big deal?
I mean, that's probably also a reason why there's more likely to be mold in it.
So I've drinking a third of it. It's kind of bad. I don't think you'll be able to see it on the camera.
Okay.
Do I keep going?
I guess the question is, so again, for those who aren't aware, Chewy has like a 100-ounce water bottle, but it's not like one he purchases. Yeah, it's just a plastic one. If you're on, if you're on YouTube, you can see the bottle. It's like a one you would get at the grocery store that would have water in it. He drinks it, and then that's the one he uses until it gets to this point where it's moldy. Where is the mold?
Everywhere.
Floating.
Oh, it's floating in the water?
Everywhere. So, can I rehabilitate it, or do I got to throw it away?
Just throw it away, man.
Yeah.
You got your $4. You got your $4 out of it.
Also,
I
didn't
plan on going to the store today.
Haven't we learned in the year 2025 that reusing plastic bottles is pretty bad? It leaches chemicals and stuff into the water the more it's reused. Isn't that a thing we know? Isn't that why?
That a thing? So here's the thing when it comes to water. I feel like I've heard everything when it comes to water. Like, that's bad. But no, it's good. But it's fine. Oh, too much water is good. Too much water is bad. You should be drinking more water. You should be drinking less water. I feel like I live in this just water cycle where you just, if you wait long enough, it's going to, the opposite is going to be coming around. Like, I feel I've heard everything when it comes to water. So I have no idea.
My understanding has been that reusing disposable or single-use plastics like that is bad. That is my understanding.
But then it goes to what mold is good, what mold is bad.
It doesn't go to that.
I mean, you got blue cheese.
Nope, doesn't go.
You got
there.
penicillin.
Blue cheese is bad. Penicillin's good. I'll give penicillin its love. But blue cheese is just bad.
Well, it's bad, but you can eat it, Gabe.
Yeah, but you shouldn't because it tastes bad.
Why?
Because it tastes bad.
Like, is this bad mold or is it good mold? Nobody knows.
I assure you that's bad mold.
You don't know that, though.
I do. Generally,
you're not
generally, unless it's made to be consumed or it's made to be a medicine, you can assume it's bad mold. Nobody opens up their basement and goes, good mold. Good mold.
Yeah,
maybe somebody does.
Black mold, yes, that's bad. But I don't think that's kind of like a charcoal gray mold. So I'm not going to drink it. This is the worst I've ever seen. I will say that. It's the worst. I didn't realize that you had to use soap and stuff, though.
What? Just isolate that phrase.
Josh, it's just water. What the hell? My pool doesn't get moldy.
You understand there's chemicals in that pool, right?
There's salt.
Yeah.
So if I put a little salt in this water, could I still use? I bet I could.
Just get a new one, man. It costs
All right,
you
I'll get a new one.
$4. Like
But it's my birthday weekend. I wasn't going to go to the store.
It's my birthday weekend.
What are you?
A birthday princess?
Yeah, I was about to say.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, I mean, when you're using the phrase birthday weekend.
You're preempting us here.
Yeah,
No,
birthday,
that's girls.
It's my birthday weekend.
No, well, it should be. I don't. Well, I'm not going to go here because it's not good. But I might as well. What the hell? Because it's what I do.
And it's your birthday weekend.
Yeah.
You get to do whatever you want.
Blame it on
Well,
the
here's my
mold.
birthday weekend.
Yeah, but the mold made you do it.
The Spaniard's coming in this with his wife.
All right, that's
Two
your
good
buddy
friends
from
of ours.
St. Louis.
Lovely. You guys, he's been on the air. He's a little obnoxious, but he's kind of like a fine wine.
But he's your obnoxious.
Yes, he's my obnoxious. So I got to go pick him up at the airport. Oh, God. So tomorrow night, you know, we got 6 of us getting together, couples.
Okay. Sounds like a nice little time. Nice little way to kick off the birthday weekend. Nice little dinner with your friends.
I don't know. You know what? My wife's got an upper respiratory infection. She's under the weather. She's hurting, but she's battling.
Okay.
But do you guys think I want to go to a magic show on my birthday? Can you pull that, Joshy? To our loyal listeners, all the years you have listened to me, to us, all the years.
Yep. Does Chewy sound like a guy who wants to go to a magic show for his birthday? When you say magic show for your birthday, I think of a clown that comes to your house and starts pulling quarters out from behind your ear. Because that's what I think of magic show for birthdays.
Gabe, I have no idea.
I'm guessing.
I have no idea.
I'm guessing this guy's going to be a little closer to Chris Angel than that, but not quite, that level of magician.
The best news I've got about the magic show I've received this morning, and the best thing about it.
Okay.
Any guesses?
Best thing about it: 2-drink minimum.
No.
Only an hour.
Josh nailed it. 75 minutes. I'm like, thank you.
75
Thank
minutes?
you.
That's a long time for you.
75 minutes, yes. And it's over at 8:30. So thank God. So then the next day, right?
Okay.
I'm a big day drinker. I love to day drink.
Yep. Famously couldn't do dry January, had to do a damp January.
So it's going to be a little more people, right?
Yeah.
A little more people. I love dive bars.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. Love dive bars, fun. There's a ton of them down here, place to place to place. We're going to a brewery that doesn't serve wine.
Now, famously, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel famously you haven't had a beer in over a decade.
It's been a long time. Maybe 3 in my last 10 years. Yes, maybe 3.
You don't drink a lot of beer.
This place,
you don't drink a lot of anything other than wine.
No. So, Gabe, it's going to be about double, so it'll be probably 8 couples, right?
Mm-hmm.
This place has long tables that you sit at. No wine because it's a brewery.
Yeah.
So how we doing so far?
Doesn't seem to be great. Here's the thing, though. I firmly believe that you would be fine wherever you went as long as you could get a decent glass of wine.
That's because I just let things roll. But ideally, no. I want to go into a place that is playing Def Leppard and smells a little bit, maybe a little waft of smoke in the air.
That they haven't paid
a few bikers, maybe. A few bikers, couple crazy people. That's my deal. Long tables, Gabe, where don't work for 16 people. Would you agree?
I mean, you have to get something for 16 people. Unless you're going to get a night at the round table. What do we do?
I don't want to sit at a table.
Well, don't. Go sit at the bar.
You can't because this place is it's a big stage and it's just, it's like a cafeteria. You know a cafeteria setup?
Yeah.
Long table.
I'm kind of thinking.
Long table. Long table.
So have you been, again, you may not have because you're not a beer drinker, but have you been to Lakefront? And the restaurant bar area at Lakefront? Because that's what I'm kind of picturing.
Why would I go there? If they don't have wine?
Same with everything Angie forced you to go.
Yeah.
Would be my imagination.
Why would you go there? Because you're going to this place.
In this bar, picture the cafeteria, right?
Yeah.
Picture the school cafeteria. So to go to the bar, Gabe and Josh, You have to go to like the guidance counselor's office to go get a beer.
So they don't have like a bar that's at the back of the room?
No, outside of the big room.
That's weird. Why don't you just have a bar in? Because, again, that's what I was picturing. I'm picturing lakefront. Anybody who's been to lakefront knows exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I'm picturing.
Or any brewery.
You
it's
go
a
to
wide open space usually.
Yeah, but like
do you see
lakefront's probably the biggest one we have in terms of having that big open space and performance area and all that sort of thing. It still has the bar in the back that you can just go you can grab a bar stool and sit right there.
Critical to the whole adventure.
I've sent you guys multiple videos and multiple pictures of the place I love, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one you got flashed
That's my
at?
kind of... Where I get what? No. That place is cool, though. That place, yeah, we'll go there. So I'm massaging this as much as I can to, like, can we just go there for an hour and then hit a few other places?
I think that's a fair plan, especially it's your birthday.
But on my birthday, should I have to massage things not to offend anyone?
No. You do whatever you want, man.
Okay.
But the problem is you never get to do whatever you want.
No.
Those times are very few and far between.
You know what, Gabe, and I'm sure you're the same. Josh, you roll with everything. Guys' rolls are like, it's fine. I guess it's fine. Is it ideal? No, but it'll be fine. Yeah,
look, and you're in a tougher spot because Joshy and I would roll with, okay, this is a brewery. Okay, I can have a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm fine with beer, and that's the issue for you is that you rarely drink anything but wine.
Yeah,
this place, it's too big of a place, Joshy. So it's probably the size of. Gabe, you know the place we've done our show from there before that Jamie, who got canned like tuna from the company, used to own.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah.
You know what place I'm talking?
Yeah. Just
too
west
big.
of
too big, right?
West of
too
Fiserv.
Too big.
Where MKE used to be.
Gabe, too big.
That's a huge space. Yeah, that's a huge space.
That's what it is. Too big. That's not a dive bar. That does
fall
not a dive bar. No. Under the classification of a dive bar.
No, but I mean, I hate to do this to you on your birthday weekend, pal, but I also question your qualifications of a dive bar. Because you once came on this very show, on these airwaves, and tried to tell me that poke and having a poke bowl was dive bar food.
It's my birthday. What the hell is Josh, that was totally uncalled for.
That was a wild throwback there, and probably one of your worst statements ever, now that I hear it.
Now that you've heard it?
Yeah.
I
was at a dive bar this weekend with Gabe, and guess what I had?
Yeah.
Frozen pizza. Took about an
that's
hour to get it. Don't know why, but
it burnt the top, the roof of your mouth too, right?
But that's dive bar food.
Josh is like, I'm getting a pizza. 45 minutes later, this thing comes out. Like, wait, what the? And I did not see anybody else.
No.
It's not like I saw, there's pizza over there, pizza over there, pizza. I did not see a single soul with pizza as well.
No, that's just what you do when you go to the dive bar. You enter into, you sit down, you strap in, and say, whatever happens, happens. I might never get the pizza for all I know.
Sure, you would have loved the place we were at on Saturday. It looks like a house on the outside.
If I send you the video, can you post my kind of bar or no, or is that illegal?
We can.
I don't even know
I have no idea. I leave those types of things up to Joshy. Joshy's in charge of those types of rules. We've got plenty of other things we can want to get to today. The NFL salary cap going up higher than we initially thought. That's one of the many things we're going to talk to Jason Wilde about on a Dude Thursday. Coming up next, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Things are still backing up just a bit westbound 94 from just before Highway 100 to the county line. They do still have this accident on the Moreland Road off-ramp, so that's a car that went off into the embankment. Crews are on the scene, still working on that. Eastbound 94, we're seeing delays from Barker Road all the way past Calhoun, and then again from Hawley Road to 35th Street. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly cloudy skies. Flurries early, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, a high of 24. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 7 with a wind chill of 5 above to 5 below. Weather's brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their two-man scramble tournament and play TPC Scottsdale for a chance to win cash through the 28th. Sign up at wisconsinindorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Madame Giselle senses something big coming. Is it a career change? Everything looks wet.
I'm going to be a swim teacher.
There's a roof.
A swim teacher who also does roofing.
No, the roof of your RV has a leak and it's ruining the furniture.
Oh, that's okay. I'm covered by Progressive. But maybe I'm a swim teaching roofer who makes furniture.
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Roof Protection Plus and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Roof Protection Plus available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra with Joshy this Thursday at Bullwinkle's at the Galleria in Brookfield. Josh will be at Bullwinkle's watching the Bucks take on Los Angeles starting at 7. Stop by for a chance to win Michelob Ultra prizes. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at the Sandlots of Salem in Salem Lakes, Kelly's Bleachers Big Bend, and Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill in Pewaukee. We'll see you Thursday at Bullwinkle's at the Galleria in Brookfield for the Bucks game at 7. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Enjoy responsibly.
Ready, down, put.
All Packers, all the time.
He was a field tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
He is our friend. He is our teammate. He is Jason Wilde. He joins us 3 times a week on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. What's up, dude?
Dudes! Mold is bad, dudes. What are we thinking here, Matt? It's not all bad, though, Jason, right? No, I think penicillin comes from it, but not the kind that's in your water bottle, you knucklehead. But what about blue cheese? Are you a fan of blue cheese? I am not. Why doesn't anyone like blue cheese? I take that back. Like the crumbles when you have them on like a fillet. But like I'm not going to the blue cheese very often. But yeah, you're again. I deal with this on a very regular basis with your fellow NFL alumnus, Mark Tauscher. Like the gut reaction, the knee-jerk reaction to things he says and the things that you say is always, oh my God, is this guy an idiot? And then you take a beat and you think about it and you're like, you know what? Not as big of an idiot as I thought. And then the next step is, that's actually a good point. And then the next step is, I think I actually agree with him. But
again, blue cheese and penicillin, still a very narrow area of mold that we're going to have to set aside.
Jason, one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen on a football field is in college when you have to play with a mouthpiece. It's the rules, or you get kicked out of the game. And one of our DBs for BC lost his mouthpiece on the field and couldn't find it. And he had a player from the sideline throw him his mouthpiece, and he put it in. That is disgusting. That's a little too far. Would you agree?
It's like putting your whole face in the bowl. Yeah, no thanks. I'm going to pass on that. But again, rules are rules. Do you not?
Yes.
So wait a minute. Did you guys not have like backup mouthpieces, or like just assume you're not going to lose something like that?
It was like the end of the half, and he was looking, couldn't find it, and he just ran over to the sideline and told one of the DBs to throw him their mouthpiece so he could stay in the game because they were driving. And
wow, yeah, that's pretty gross. Yep.
Yeah.
That's worse than one of the tackles that you had to combo block filling his socks.
Yeah, Jason would know who that is too.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Jason, I'm going to start with the nickname, and then just tell me if you know this player or not. We used to call him, because of that, Big Greasy.
Oh, Big Greasy. Now, I know there was a guy.
Number 68, right tackle.
So, wait, there was a guy named Jerry Kraft.
Yes, it wasn't him.
They called him the Big Creamy.
Big Creamy.
Because he was, I mean, I don't know if it was from his eating habits or just his sheer size. Was he the one who also sat in the back of his car to drive it?
Yes. He took the driver's seat out and sat in the back seat and drove his car. That's how big he was. Jason, JS, this was before Big Creamy. You had to be there.
All right, and he wore 68.
Yeah.
I feel like a failure now. Joe Sims.
There you go. Ding, 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 ding.
Sorry, it took me a while. I don't know how many. Like, that's one of those numbers that, like, I know Gail Gillingham, who was like one of the great offensive linemen, wore it, but other than Mike Wall, Breno Giacomini maybe wore it, but I don't know. There's not many. I'm usually pretty good at this game. Not as good as Tim Van Voren, but what? In the game he did this?
No, this was practice. So, but still, I had a little on my shoe. And the very few diapers that I'd change, when I'd get a little bit of Duke on my, from my kids on my face, I just shake because you don't know what to do. You just sit there and go like.
They have those little baby wipes that you just grab one of.
Yeah, but it's on your hands. It's like, ooh, kind of gross.
Wow, this is really taking a turn thanks to Joe Sims.
Yeah,
and Joe, we certainly thank you, Jason.
Big Greasy.
Jason, when are the Packers going to re-sign Brandon McManus?
Great question. Tausch thinks they should franchise tag him.
No, just
pay
come
him $6 million plus next year.
Just come to an agreement. Like it shouldn't be this hard, should it?
Yeah. I did think it was interesting when I talked to Brandon McManus late in the season for a story, and I asked him if he wanted to be back here. He gave kind of one of those non-committal answers. So, obviously the Packers were the team that were willing to sign him after the allegations of his inappropriate behavior on the flight to London had been resolved, which I think were with some sort of a settlement. But I mean, maybe he doesn't want to be back here, right? Or maybe he's just keeping his options open, or maybe he's talking to a reporter that he doesn't trust because anytime any of us wanted to talk to him, like the first time I went to talk to him one-on-one, he said, well, what do you want to talk about? And I wanted to say, well, I don't want to talk about the plane thing. I want to talk about football. But I said, well, not what you might be concerned about, I want to think about or talk about. So I don't know, like, has he, I guess my question is, has he rehabilitated his bargaining power with the way he kicked, that he's going to have interest from other teams that also don't have good kickers? And is he going to have an opportunity, I don't know, maybe to kick somewhere closer to where, I mean, his family did not come here. He's got, I think, 2 or 3 kids and his wife, and they didn't come here after he signed with the Packers. They came for a couple of weekends to see games, but he didn't want to pull them out of school. And so I don't know. Maybe he's decided, hey, I can still kick in this league, and I want to keep my options open. And on the flip side, we're all sitting there going, hey, Goody, after what you went through with Anders Carlson and the Narv dog, it would probably be great to have a veteran kicker who only missed 2 kicks after you signed him. But maybe Goody saw him as a temporary solution, and he's got something else in mind. Like, it feels like a no-brainer, but maybe it's not.
Jason, is Goody the type of GM that would rather have the window half open for 8 years or all the way open for 4?
Oh, first of all, Chewy, I mean, come on. He told us he doesn't believe in windows, which I need to introduce him to Gina Della, clearly. But
well,
he
doesn't believe in rebuilds either, because obviously we're never in one under his
right,
watch.
and Aaron Jones will be back, and we're going to re-sign Devontae Adams, the Hall of Fame player. And, so, so take that for what it's worth. But I don't think there's any question he wants a window that is somewhat open for 8 years as opposed to wide open for 4 years. I don't think there's, like, the whole concept of draft and develop and the whole way that they approach never going all in. And I know he would argue that they went all in toward the tail end of the Rodgers era by bringing guys back, but that's not my definition of all in.
Mm-mm.
All in is not only do you bring all your guys back, but then you go out and get a huge piece and you mortgage your cap future to and know you're going to have some pain down the road in order to do it. And they've never done that. But you look at what they do. The 2010 title team is the exact proof of what they're hoping for. And by the way, this is not a criticism. Like, I think it's the right way to go because there are so many variables in the postseason. I mean, I saw, as you well know, because you were lying on the Qualcomm Stadium turf with your face mask in the grass after that final pass, I saw a far superior team lose the Super Bowl to a bunch of knuckleheads and John Elway, right? I mean, and so the 2010 team getting into the playoffs on the final day of the season and needing help to get there, and then going on the run that they did, I think that's the Packers' way. It's, hey, we're going to put together a competitive playoff caliber team that we feel good about making the playoffs, and then we're going to hopefully be the team that's hot at the right time, catches a couple breaks, and we're going to win a Super Bowl. And, again, I don't want that to be clipped for social media as if I'm trashing them, because I'm not. I think that's the right way to go, because there are so many instances throughout history where you could say we're going all in and put all the pieces together, and all it takes is one fluky thing, and you will have now mortgaged your future in order to try and go all in that year, and then you don't get it, and now you're screwed for a couple of years. So
but it really doesn't work, though, Jason, and it hasn't worked for 15 years because Ted was under that same kind of model, and we're kind of spinning wheels here.
Right, but again, this is the problem. Like the 2014 team, which obviously Joe Sims' its socks at the end of that game, like they belonged in the Super Bowl, right? And they had gone. I mean, for them, they had gone on. They signed Julius Peppers, who I know was 33 or 34 when they signed him, but that was a little all in ish for them to do.
That was a Ron move, though, Jason. Wasn't it a Ron move? Because if you look at Ron, What Ron did, Jason, was, okay, make a big splash, have some young guys, but backfill it with Pro Bowl players. Keith Jackson, multiple Pro Bowls. Eugene Robinson, Pro Bowls. Sean Jones, multiple Pro Bowls. Don Beebe, hell of a guy, hell of a player. You know, he did it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if I buy into their way of draft development.
I would agree. I would agree with that. Like, first of all, I still, you know, regardless of how many times Goody tells us that his philosophy is it's a young man's game, and you got to play these guys and live through the growing pains. So by the second half of the season, they've grown through those, and they're much better players. I understand the philosophy there, but I still believe in veteran players. And I think the perfect example, and this might have been the difference between them advancing in the playoffs this year and not, is they did not have a veteran Bruce Wilkerson type, Jeff Dellenbach type of offensive linemen that when Elton Jenkins goes down, they had to put two very large, but still essentially in NFL terms, children into the game, right?
Yeah.
Travis Glover, rookie 6th-round pick, had played like 8 snaps on offense. Then when he fails miserably, they go to Kadeem Telfort, who spent the 2023 season on the practice squad, and I think had played 13 offensive snaps before he had to go in. If they have a guy who has played in the NFL for 8-9 years that can go in there and get you through it and not get a bunch of penalties and get the quarterback killed, they were within 16-10 in the fourth quarter. Yeah. So maybe that kind of move is maybe you don't have to go all in. Maybe you just have to have a few guys that are outstanding, experienced backups, guys that used to be starters, aren't there anymore, and can go in a pinch and get you through a game and maybe start a couple games if you're missing a guy. And that has not been the Packers' way since Ron retired.
Jason, there are reports that Joey Bosa could be released from the Chargers as a salary cap casualty. Does that feel like the most realistic name you've heard to help the Packers with their pass rush?
Now, he's had injury issues, right?
Correct. Played 14 games, though, in 2024. Played 14 games combined the 2 years previous.
Yeah, that sounds like somebody that Goody's not interested in, right? He doesn't want guys that are breaking down. I would just say this. When we asked Bulaga about him being available, you know, Brian could not be a nicer person. And he really struggled to find a way to not just flat out say, no, I don't think so. So he eventually landed on signing both him and Khalil Mack, which I can fairly confidently say will definitely not occur. But I really would like, and Goody's going to talk on Tuesday in Indy, and I'm curious to see what he says because I wonder how he views that defensive line. Because I keep going back to a quote from his postseason presser in which he basically said that he believes in all those guys. And then they fired the line coach. And it makes me wonder if he thinks that they don't need to do the Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett, Joey Bosa, whatever type big splash signing at that position. And instead, they can go with the guys they have, believe they're going to be better in year 2 of the system, draft a guy pretty high, and roll like that. I really think there's a distinct possibility that that's his mentality. But again, it doesn't matter what he says. It matters what he does. And if we wake up one morning like we did with Julius Peppers, and there's Max Crosby having taken pictures inside Lambeau Field, and not even Shefty had gotten that, then great. But I'll believe it when I see it.
Jason, is that because he drafted 3 of the 4 of them, and he would essentially have to admit that he was wrong, which GMs have a hard time doing?
They definitely do. I mean, other than Ron and the Joey Jamison pick in 2000 when he was standing on the sideline with us, and Joey Jamison, who was drafted purely to be a punt returner, dropping punt after punt after punt, and he turns to us and says, "Well, I guess I effed up that pick."
So awesome.
Which remains one of my favorite Ron Wolf moments. God, I love him. Yes, and he kept him around all the way to training camp, just like when he signed Josh Heupel. My other favorite Ron story. He loved Josh Heupel, and Josh Heupel won a Heisman. Right?
Yeah, Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah,
but he was not an NFL quarterback.
No,
and so Ron signs him. And then he goes on a scouting trip, and I think it was during I can't remember if it was off-season program. I think so, or maybe it was early in training camp. Must have been the off-season program. And the scouts are like, "Oh my God, this guy is terrible." Now he's turned out to be a good coach, and I'm not trying to drag him, but they actually wanted. They said we have to keep this guy around. Like they needed to make some sort of roster move. And they didn't make it because they wanted to keep him around so Ron had to watch at a practice how terrible Josh Heupel was before they moved on from him. So he's a Hall of Famer, and I love him to death, but he was not omniscient and perfect.
He said the same thing to me about 10 years after I retired. We were at a reunion dinner, and I was sitting right next to him, and he turns to me and goes, "How weren't you a first or a second-round pick?" And I was like,
and that's what he used to always say, right?
You're the GM. You tell me.
But that's what he would always say when people would ask about, you were a 6th rounder. Timmerman was a 7th rounder.
Yeah.
Marco was a 6th rounder. What he would say was, if I was that good at my job, I wouldn't have waited until the 6th or 7th round to draft those guys. I would have seen how good they were and drafted them earlier. Right?
Yeah.
And so, that kind of honesty and ownership, I mean, I just, like I said, I love the guy to death, and he's one of the all-time greats, as we well know.
Jason, appreciate it. Look forward to more coming up at 9 o'clock with Wilde and Tausch.
All right, dudes. Appreciate you. Take care. Be good.
See you, dude.
Jason Wilde joins us 3 times a week here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Right now, you want to be able to take advantage of some of the screaming deals going on at Piggly Wiggly when it comes to Screamin' Sicilian Detroit style and stuffed crust pizza. They're on sale right now, just $6.99 at Piggly Wiggly through the 25th. So you still have 5 more days to take advantage of this. Again, Screamin' Sicilian Detroit style, if you're unfamiliar, Joshy is a big fan. I'm a big fan. Kind of a lighter, airier crust, even though it's a thicker crust. Comes with its own pan that you make it in the oven with so you can get that caramelized cheese on the crust.
Good stuff.
Oh, it is so good. And then they've got stuffed crust pizza. That needs no explanation. Great Screamin' Sicilian crust, and then you stuff some cheese in the crust. Yeah, it's going to be great. So get those two, $6.99 right now at Piggly Wiggly through the 25th. Stock up on your faves and taste what all the screaming is about.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94 slowing down from Moreland Road to Calhoun. Eastbound's backing up from Highway 16 to Highway F, and then again from Springdale all the way to Brookfield Road. One more delay from just before 84th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. Southbound on 41 backing up from Silver Spring down to Capitol, and then again right around the North Avenue curve past Mayfair Road. Oh, and also there is a crash on the Moreland Road off-ramp from westbound 94. That's still being worked on. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy, flurries early, partly cloudy in the afternoon with a high of 24. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 7 above, with a wind chill of 5 above to 5 below. Weather's brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their 2-man scramble tournament and play TPC Scottsdale for a chance to win cash through the 28th. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Empower. Nick bought a new guitar, a 62 American Classic Electric. Does he know how to play? No. But Nick's Empower investment account has performed well. He got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risks. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. This is a really, really, really good guitar solo.
Welcome to NFL Flag. In this game, there's a position for everyone. No matter who you are.
Let's go! Throw what you got!
Lace up your cleats, smear on your eye black, step out on the field, and start having fun. This is flag football, and this game is our game.
This game! Our game! This game! Our game! This game! Our game!
Visit NFL.com to find a league and get playing today.
1, 2, 3, let's play!
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Brown Deer High School's Amira Grant. The star for the Brown Deer's girls basketball squad, Grant is having an incredible season. 4 50-point performances this season for the Falcons, all coming within the last month. The senior guard leads the state in scoring at over 40 points per game, and at all-time sits top 5 for Wisconsin. Grant will continue her athletic and academic career at the Division I level next season, with the offers starting to pile up. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Amira Grant from Brown Deer High School.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Picture it. Beautiful plants, freshly mowed lawn, crisply edged flower beds, and your grilling dinner out on an incredible back patio. Landworks Wisconsin is ready to plan your green space. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all your landscaping needs. Their team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
Flat Out Friday, presented by Harley-Davidson Motorcycle Company, returns to Pfizer Forum on Friday, February 21st.
Part race, part rock show, and part circus.
Flat Out Friday adds up to 110% entertainment. Get your tickets today at PfizerForum.com to experience more than 300 riders compete on an indoor flat track. Flat Out Friday at Pfizer Forum on February 21st at 7 p.m. Don't miss this exciting night of racing. Get your tickets now at PfizerForum.com.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And then you have Raj, who I didn't think he just didn't have the body type of a right tackle.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. Who the hell are you talking about?
What's his name? Yash.
Raj?
Like, I was thinking, okay,
who's Raj? You tell us, buddy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
when I heard yesterday that Joey Bosa was going to be a salary cap casualty, I mean, my ears perked up. I had some interest. And then you start digging deeper, and it's very obvious that Joey has been doing some trading the last few years on his brother's name. Like, his last name's Bosa, so you're thinking, oh, okay, he's got to be, I mean, Bosa boys are pretty good. No, not the last few years. Because for the first time, I mean, Joey Bosa Chew was relatively healthy this last year. I mentioned it to Jason, he played 14 games this past season after playing 14 games in the 2 years combined before that. Care to take a guess on how many sacks Joey Bosa had last year?
6.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, I
mean, he'd fit right in.
Is his brother any better?
His brother is much better. Yes.
Because he's younger. Which one's younger?
Nick.
Who's he play for?
The 49ers. The 49ers.
What do you mean, who's
he's
he
younger.
for?
Yeah,
I don't know their name. I know their last name. His dad went to BC. He was going out as I was coming in. Okay?
Yeah, Nick has stayed a lot healthier. So he only played 14 games this last year, but had 9 sacks. Had 10.5 the year before, 18.5 the year before, 15.5 the year before.
But didn't he have to take a pay cut, I thought?
No.
I thought, you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Did the Packers play San Diego this year? Or L.A. or whatever the hell their name is?
I mean, maybe.
Which team are you talking about?
Yeah, which Joey are you talking about? Or which Bosa are you talking about?
San Diego Chargers.
Okay, so Joey Bosa, that is the one who is going to be released because he's a salary cap casualty.
And he's the oldest.
And he's older.
Yes.
And he's much worse.
You don't want him. Yes, I agree. I thought San Francisco was getting released, and I'm like...
No, if it was...
I got there.
If it was the San Francisco one, sign me up.
Yeah, he's still thought of as like a top 5 pass rusher.
Yeah,
the one in San Francisco,
yes.
Nick.
Sign me up for Nick.
Yes. Now, the brother's still going to get paid, though, because his last name's Bosa.
I don't know. He hasn't stayed healthy, and he hasn't been, productive.
I think he'll get a decent amount of money. I mean he has double-digit sack seasons, but he was never a high sack guy. He was sort of the defensive – he was on the Rashawn Gary spectrum, but at the top end of it. Like, he was the higher end of that.
But this would be the Sean Jones of my era to complement Reggie White. The problem is the current Packers don't have a Reggie White.
No, I'd settle for a Reggie White light.
They don't have a KGB.
Aaron Campman.
No, you would settle for him if Myles Garrett was on one side of the ball.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yes. if they had a legit pass rusher, yes, I would want him as a complimentary piece. The problem is
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's also
that's
the same.
The problem is that's all the Packers have on their defensive line, Chewy, is complimentary pieces.
All right, well,
you'd feel better about Rashawn Gary if you had a better pass rusher on the other end.
All right.
Instead, it's Lucas Van Ness.
Let's go back a segment because Jason answered my question. Now you guys answer my question. Do you want a guy where the window's half open for 8 years or full open for 4? Because a full open for 4, you go get Crosby, you go get Hendrickson, you go get Garrett, right? Because you know it's going to sting, but you know what? You're not. You wouldn't be the favorite to win it all, but you'd be a hell of a lot higher than you're going to be without having them. So you can't have both either, Gabe, because you guys have always said, give me a Crosby, give me a Garrett. That's window wide open. Yeah, so do you want it wide open or do you want it half open? Because half open is Bosa or Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I feel like if you have stars, the window's always going to be wide open. Which is why...
But there's going to be pain down the road. Are you all right with pain down the road?
I mean, there's pain along the way, even if you only keep it. Well, because here's the problem, I guess, that I have with the way the Packers are doing it right now, is that so many of these guys, starting with next year and then following the year after, they're relying on so many of these different players that have come out of those 2 draft classes. You're going to have to make major decisions anyway. You're going to be going through a little, and I don't know fully expect it to be a rebuild because you'll re-sign some of those guys, but you're going to be going through some sort of retinkering, Chew, after this. You got to make a lot of decisions starting next year with the receiving core. What are we going to do with, it starts with Watson, starts with Dobbs. The year after, what are we going to do with Jaden Reed? What are we going to do with Tucker Kraft? What are we going to do with Luke Musgrave? You've got a lot of questions, and because you're relying on those 2 draft classes so heavily as the youngest team in the league, who are you going to sign? Who are you not going to re-sign? You got to backfill those positions. Where are you going to be getting these guys from? So that's where I kind of have questions about the way they're doing it now and think that, go. So right now, with this core that you have, you've got this year and next year, go get someone. And that guy's probably going to be here more than 2 years if you go get Crosby, if you get Myles Garrett. And then we've got Jordan Love on offense. We've got this guy on defense. We'll fill in around him, and we're going to feel pretty good about our chances of being a playoff team.
But, Gabe, just listening to Jason, which there's a good chance they're not going to do anything with the D-line, maybe add a $12 million player, which is a nothing. What do you do if Rashawn Gary has another 6.5 sacks next year?
See ya.
And then what about Lucas Van Ness if he does nothing again next year? Now you're starting from
he'll play out his
with
4
the
years.
D-line. Yeah, but he stinks.
Yeah.
So play out 9 years at minimum. Who cares? You're never going to be a dominant player. So what do you do then? Now you have a huge hole on probably the second, third, or fourth most important position on the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is why I would go make a move for one of those guys if they indeed become available. But again, I still Bad teams make those moves. Like, we sent the thank you letter to Joe Shane of the New York Giants for being a dip bleep and letting, again, not just letting Saquon Barkley walk out the door, but they let a young guy in Xavier McKinney walk out the door. They let 2 All-Pros just leave. 2 young All-Pros in their 20s, best at their position guys, leave their team, and they're still in shambles. Now, both those guys aren't helping the Giants be a playoff team. I mean, they would if you continue to build around them. But, like, bad teams, to me, are the ones that let Myles Garrett walk out the door, let Max Crosby walk out the door, let Trey Hendrickson walk out the door. Like, if Joey Bosa had 12.5 sacks last year, guess what he's not going to be this year? A salary cap casualty. You're keeping that guy at whatever number you have him at because it's worth it.
Yeah, to me, those teams have given those guys reasons to move on as well. Like, Saquon Barkley could have elected to try and go back to New York. Like, those bad teams were in rebuilding. To this point, I've agreed with post Aaron Rodgers, pretty much everything Goody's done. Now, you can quibble about which exact pick he's made, but the positions he's gone for and the way he's rebuilt an entire wide receiver room, an entire safety room. Like, we talk about Evan Williams and Javon Bullard, and Kadana Oladapo seems like he's a starter-level player, and he's the third-string guy who's struggling to get. Like, he's completely rebuilt the tight end room as well. And, like, if you look at the running backs, that seems to be on the way there as well. The problem is right now is when I think it's time to change. Now is you pick and choose instead of just throwing draft assets at positions to get better. Now is the time where a move like Max Crosby makes sense because you are building a team. You are using those assets to get better in real determinate ways. Like, you would love to have more superstars through the draft, and maybe Evan Williams ends up being a 10-year Packer Hall of Famer, like all-time great. Who knows? But at this point, your assets are starting to get to the point where use them to get superstars.
And the issue with pass rush as well.
Yeah,
because if you look at
Gabe, the top teams in the NFC, right?
Yep.
They've all made big moves, right? Philadelphia Eagles, A.J. Brown, big move. San Francisco 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, big move. Minnesota Vikings. At the time, we were like, T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Big move.
Big move.
Right? Mm-hmm. What are the Packers? What's their big move? They don't have any big moves. It's just not what they do.
And again, I do want to give credit, Josh, to Goody for rebuilding those rooms. The problem is rebuilding your defensive line, rebuilding your pass rush is probably one of the hardest things to do. When you take a look at the best safeties in the league. Yeah, there's going to be some first rounders. There's going to be some second rounders. There's going to be things sprinkled in. Tight ends can be found all across the draft. First round all the way down to the 7th round. Same thing with wide receivers. If you look at the pass rush, we're talking about guys who are in rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And more than likely high draft picks. If you go and look, and I did this a year ago, so I don't know how it panned out this year, and I certainly can go look. But 8 of the top 10 guys in sacks were high first-round picks.
Yeah, that's a position that seems to be solved in terms of that's where you get your guys. Yeah. It's very few and far between where a guy matters.
You can get depth and all those other things later in the draft when it comes to pass rush.
And Lucas Van Ness is looming at 13 overall. You seem to be primed for a position, and then the Jets take the other option, Wisconsin kid, and he ends up having way more sacks and being way more productive. Sometimes you swing and you miss.
Especially when you pick swap, too.
Yeah, and I can forgive draft miss. It happens to everyone.
Yeah,
sometime you also have to factor in how that goes on. They're in a spot now where you've tried one method, it doesn't work. It's now left you in a lurch. You don't have pass rush. You don't have as good as you want to be. You've given these assets, so guess what? You can't sunk cost fallacy it. You can't be like, well, we drafted 13 overall, and that's just what it is. It's no, we got to buy ourselves out of this.
You got to figure out a way, certainly, to get out.
I agree.
Chewy, if I say 3.1% to you, and I give you 3.1% chance of something happening, how do you feel about that?
3.1 as in my GPA?
No, out of 100.
3.1.
That's not.
There's no way you had a 3.1.
I lied a little bit.
I've done it once, one semester.
There is a 3.1% chance of something happening. We're going to find out if Chewy's comfortable with those odds coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Progressive knows there's so many great things about being a sports fan. Like scoring the company box seats. How great is that? Trick plays that actually work. Prevent defense when your team is winning by a lot. And even more preventative prevent defense as they're hanging on by a thread. And of course, saving money when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's pretty great. Just like trick plays that actually work.
Yeah, but how often does that happen?
Complaining about sports. Not so great. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
They say seeing is believing. And when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sportsbook, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
All-Star Weekend has come and gone for the NBA, and when it comes to Damian Lillard's quest for a three-peat in the NBA's All-Star three-point contest, the Magic wasn't quite there, and he did not advance out of the first round. In the mini-tournament of sorts for the All-Star game itself, Damian Lillard on Team Shaq winning the title. Meanwhile, Giannis once again deciding not to play to rest his sore calf. As for what's ahead, here's Dame on the rest of the season.
But I think the number one thing for us is going to be our health. We got to be on the floor together so that we can, get things completely figured out, and then we got to do it for a longer period of time.
Bucks are back in action on Thursday night, taking on the Clippers at Fiserv Forum before a big game against Chris Middleton and the Wizards in D.C. on Friday night.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
The new year is here, and we all know it's the perfect time to hit the reset button. Let's be real, guys. Feeling confident in how you look and feel isn't just for women. That's where Quintessa Aesthetic Center comes in. From now through March 31st, Quintessa is offering exclusive packages to help you start 2025 as a more confident you. Whether it's weight loss plans or even IV therapy, Quintessa has personalized options backed by medical experts to help you look and feel your absolute best. Visit myquintessa.com to learn more. Make 2025 the year you feel confident inside and out.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Unbelievable that they ran all over this vaunted defense, this elite defense.
What Kool-Aid?
Why? It was poop Kool-Aid, and we gobbled it down.
On 94.5 ESPN.
.1% chance. It seems pretty low, right? Probably wouldn't want to take those odds. But what if I told you, Chewy, that NASA has now said there is a 3.1% chance that an asteroid is going to be hitting the Earth in 2032? You comfortable with those odds? You comfortable with 3.1%?
What would it do? The asteroid.
So apparently it is a city destroyer. So it would, if it made contact, it would destroy a city. Apparently, if it landed in the ocean, the resulting tsunami would be the biggest ever observed by humans. So not good things. Like it would literally just take a city off the face of the earth.
How big is the asteroid? Do they have any idea?
I mean, if it's called a city destroyer, it would be pretty damn big, brother.
Like, yeah, but I heard a basketball would like destroy a
would not
city block. No?
No.
This is a city destroyer that it's estimated to be anywhere from 131 to 290 feet in diameter.
3.1.
3.1% chance. Apparently, KenPom, which is an advanced analytics college basketball site, gave UMBC a 2.5% chance at beating Virginia the year that UMBC beat Virginia. So I'm just saying,
Make me feel great.
just putting it out there for context perspective, right?
Yeah.
Trying to, keep some perspective out there.
Looks like I'm going to purchase a plane before 2032. Because
just
they'll
in
know where
case
it's going to hit, right?
Oh, but yeah, if it actually is going to hit at that point, yes, I'm sure they'll have.
Where.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have. They'll know exactly where it's going to.
And your plan there is to just be in the air and avoid the flight path.
Yeah, that would work.
But if say it's going to hit in Russia, I don't think you need a plane.
Yeah,
you just ride it out.
Then I'd be fine. But if it hits,
couldn't you just go to Wisconsin if it was bound for Florida, or go for Florida if it was bound for Wisconsin?
I think the airlines would be pretty full at that point in time. Might be tough booking a flight. I suppose you could drive, but the roads would be backed up. Maybe a helicopter. No?
Wait, are you getting your pilots? Are you getting your pilot's license in the next 7 years? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, possibly. No, what would you guys do? What would you do?
I would leave the area that's supposed to be damaged.
Yeah.
We're gonna have months warning. It's not like it would. It's not like it's gonna pop up.
It's not like, hey, by the way, in 12 hours,
right?
Milwaukee's
Everyone
getting hit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm not that worried then.
All right. Good to know. I'm a little concerned.
How do you think? What do you think asteroid damage is for, like, home insurance? Hey, my house got destroyed.
I don't think there's coverage.
Seems unfair.
Act of God? You think that would fall under Act of God? You know the insurance company's pushing back.
They push back at everything, so why would anything change? Yeah.
We talked yesterday a lot about Mark Attanasio. His son is claiming he was misquoted. We dive into that in 2 minutes. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound 43, we are seeing some delays basically from just before Hampton all the way down towards Center Street. Southbound 41, just a couple pockets of heavy traffic right past Hampton Avenue down towards Capitol Drive. Westbound 94, watch for delays from 25th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard, and then again crossing into Waukesha County. Eastbound slowing from 92nd Street all the way through the Stadium interchange to about 35th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, mostly cloudy skies, flurries early, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, a high of 24. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 7 above with a wind chill of 5 above to 5 below. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Jen Latta from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. One of the best decisions I've made was getting my infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. Based right in Appleton and Waukesha, they've been around for 2 decades. Good Health Saunas are easy to install, cost as little as 25 cents a day, and even include a true lifetime warranty. Plus, the health benefits aren't a bad addition either. Learn about Good Health's options at goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen, and you can get $500 to $800 off your purchase. Remember, that's goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
In true Chewy fashion, right before we turn on our microphones, because when it comes to working out, how long can I wear these shorts before I have to wash them?
What, do you smell something?
Do I smell something? What am I, hard of smelling? Of course I smell something.
What is it?
Wear it once, wear it twice, wear it 3 times. And what prompted the question to myself?
You start to smell them a little bit?
Not smell, they're a little dirty.
What do you mean by dirty?
It's B.O. The valet must have had B.O.
Can't be. Nobody has B.O. like this.
Jerry, it's B.O.
But the whole car smells.
Like some sweat stains or other types of stains?
I don't know what that is.
Because the other type of stains, probably, throw them in there.
Well, that's only with the whites. The whites are definitely 2. And you have to look at the backside to be like, all right, yeah.
So when somebody has B.O., the O usually stays with the B. Once the B leaves, the O goes with it.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
We spent a good chunk of yesterday talking about Mark Attanasio and a quote that he had at spring training a couple of days ago. Even asked Adam Schefter about what he felt the role of an owner should be. And this quote that we talked about really caused a stir, obviously, with the fan base. People are passionate about Mark Attanasio saying, is it my job to win a World Series, or is it my job to provide, entertainment for families throughout the course of the summer? And that's a paraphrase. That's not a direct quote. So we talked a lot about that yesterday. And online, now his son, Mike Attanasio Chewy, is defending him, saying he was entirely misquoted. I was sitting in the room. The goal is always to win the World Series, but it's also important as the steward of the franchise to provide a summer of passion and excitement for fans so you don't lose a generation of fans like some teams do when you have a long rebuild. We always want to be competitive to avoid that. Very frustrating to see what the writer posted, which completely was not in the spirit of the comments that were made. Well, we've got the entire quote. Now, granted, it is a long quote. It is 2 minutes. But I feel like in the fairness of we only played part of the quote yesterday, here is the full quote. It is about 2 minutes long, so stay with us. It's about 2 minutes long, but you tell me if everything he said around the quote we talked about, Chew, makes a difference to what Mark Attanasio said.
Mark, given all that's happened in the Yelich contract since, in his career since you signed that, do you foresee ever doing a deal of that magnitude again, or do you think?
Sure. Yeah. Just has to be the right player in the right time in our life cycle. And I think, I thought about this a lot when we did the contract with Yelly. It's great to have generational players that the fans can follow. We had Yount and that, and so you get into some of the questions. What's your job? Forget about calling yourself, if you're the steward of baseball here. Is my job to win a World Series? Now it's going to everybody say, oh, he doesn't think he has to win a World Series, but it's my job to win a World Series. Is my job to provide a summer of entertainment and passion and a way for families to come together. And I actually, because you don't know when you sign these, I decided it was that more so than, what could you get for Christian Yelich in a trade, and how would that go into the fancy computer model that Matt and his team have, and so I'm committed to that, and I'm committed to the legacy of all the players. CC comes back, Hall of Famer CC Sabathia. Yeah, he was here for 2 months, and he has a connection here. I try to keep connections with all of the guys who've been here, because, we've developed you can walk downstairs. You guys have, I don't know if you have, but, every Brewer player everybody's ever worn the uniform is listed downstairs, and you have generations of it. And, we're all part of the same history. And so, yes, sure, of course.
Does the full quote, Chew, change anything in the way we talked about the quote that he had said yesterday?
No, that's just a total CYA walk back.
I mean, that's a word salad that he just kind of threw out there. Like, it was just kind of a word salad. And still within that, I feel like, yes, Mark Attanasio wants to win a World Series. I don't feel like it's number one on his list. Whether or not, whether you cut out the little clip in there in the middle, whether you listen to the entire thing, like, winning a World Series, I think, is on the list. I just don't think it's number one on the list.
To me, that made it worse because didn't he kind of allude to making decisions there based on what people feel about a Christian Yelich versus what he might provide to the team? Wasn't that the way that was interpreted?
It could be, certainly.
He said he would give out a big contract again, and it's like, okay, great, those are words, and maybe there will be another big one that happens down the future. But
but
it would be alluding to there.
It would be after Christian is gone.
Right. And what he was alluding to there was kind of what we are all talking about, is that if you think entertainment and providing those moments for people is that important, it seems like that's a bigger priority to you than winning World Series and winning at the highest level. And I don't think the 2 minutes we just listened to contextualizes it the way his son tried to make it seem. I don't think it did a good job of it. And maybe there's a 5-minute cut. But to me, that sounded like question and full answer.
That was question and full answer. That was it.
What was he patting himself on the back for Yelich? I mean, Yelich is one player. I mean, look at the Bucks.
No, he was just using Yelich as an example.
Right, because the question was based on Yelich and the fact that he signed a big contract, and the contract hasn't panned out the way they would have wanted to. He was a once MVP, and he's since battled injuries, and I think what was being insinuated by the question was, since you got burned on this, will you be doing it again?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to do it again.
Yeah, eventually.
Take the Bucks for an example. Is Dame under a supermax or just a max?
I mean, he's getting paid a boatload of money. Yeah.
But you had a supermax in Giannis. You had, let's say, a max in Dame, and then you had a max in Chris Middleton. One big contract is not enough to be relevant to be in the conversation to win a World Series, right? I mean, what did Adames?
Well, so the problem,
what was his contract?
The problem with the Adames contract is he ended up getting 6 years, and Willie's not going to have. Willie doesn't really have a game that is going to age gracefully. So I think he got a 7-year deal. He got 7 years, $182 million. Like, the last 4 years of that deal are just going to be woof. Like, because he's just not going to be good enough, right? Like, he's just not going to be, he's not going to age gracefully, I think, in baseball. And that's where the Brewers can't sign somebody.
I think
like
the
that.
big question is, Gabe, for the fans, is do you expect a owner at times to be in the red or whatever the bad one is?
I still can't believe you haven't figured this out. Yes.
Well, in the red. Do you expect, I'll ask you guys that. Do you expect an owner who has, I don't know much, I know he's got a lot of money, let's just say that. Do you expect an owner to go into the red sometimes? Because my guess, if you look at the books over the last handful of years, he's probably been in the black every year. Josh?
Yes. Now, there's clever accounting that happens, and sometimes they like to show their books and say, hey, we lost money. But they're doing that cleverly because they're building out the spring training facility. And, like, that money, when you actually boil it down, you're not losing money on those adventures because they are going to gain you more money in the future. Those are all ways to do it. You would expect the Brewers, based on the amount of money they get every single year, I would say half the time you would be in the red because you felt you had a team that could win at a higher level. So for that year, you said, hey, even though we're going to lose $15 million here, it'll be worth it in the long run, and we could get that money back through other avenues.
Because that's what the Bucks did, right? The Bucks franchise value skyrocketed.
Yeah, once they built the arena, once they won a championship, everything just went up.
But they were willing to spend money.
Yeah, so they're losing. For example,
it sounds like Attanasio, yes, I agree with you, would love to win a World Series, but he's more interested in building his net worth. And I know he's got a couple different irons in the fire than, say, going in the red one year to really give them a chance to go and win it all.
For example, Mark Lazary, who bought out of the team of the Bucks, probably lost money in the short term. Like when they bought the franchise, the money they put into the arena, the salary year over year, probably lost some money. And then gained it all back when he sold the team. Like, gained it all back and then plus some, right? Because you're losing cash, but the overall value of the franchises in any sport continue to go up. So that's where I would expect, every once in a while, be in the red. I don't know if the Brewers are going to do that, and that's just a fact of the matter. Justin chiming in on the Carblers Talking text line, 800-990-3776, saying he did do it again. He gave a dude who never played in the majors an 8-year deal. But the contract that he gave to Jackson Chourio, also doesn't compare. Like, the Christian Yelich deal is literally $100 million more.
Yeah.
Like, literally $100 million more. But more than double than what Chourio got. So they did that creative contract. That's something that teams have done previously. But,
it's really just screwing the player.
The Yelich contract, I think it worked out for both parties because the player's getting more money up front than he would if he just went through the regular process, and he's going to make more money over the length of that deal than he would had he just gone through arbitration every year and all those
teams aren't giving those deals out of the goodness of their heart.
No.
Let me ask you guys this, because I really don't know. Are there parallels between Herb Cole and Attanasio? And why did they run Herb out of town?
I think there are comparisons. It's just success has reached the Brewers more, and that's through building of the team. Now, if we remember, as Gabe was mentioning, sports teams owner make their money when they sell the team eventually. The Brewers were bought for $223 million. Do you want to guess what they're worth right now?
2.1.
$1.6 billion.
Okay.
So for owning this team and making money pretty much year over year on a consistent basis, he also has a $1.6 billion stake. Now, he doesn't see that money now. I understand that. I understand how that works. But it isn't a year over year business. You aren't just trying to make a profit every single year. It is a long-term investment that will yield you $1.3 extra billion. That's what being a sports owner is. It's not about, we made enough money because we raised ticket prices and we sold more concessions. You love to do that. It's great. But that's not what the Dodgers do every year. That's not what most of the teams in major sports do.
Well, unless you're an NFL owner where everything is just hard capped.
Make money.
Yeah, but Gabe, if we were to ask the old timers, and I didn't know where Green Bay was really when I got drafted in '92, but there was probably the same kind of feeling in the 70s and 80s with the Green Bay Packers because there was no free agency, there was no salary cap, and they were horrible, probably because they didn't spend any money.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Well, I mean, and just based on some of the stories you told when you initially got there, the team wasn't spending any money, not on players, but like facilities, and you guys had to pay for your own soap and different, jock straps and things like that. Like it's again, the NFL changed everything when they went to a hard salary cap and made it easier for everybody to make money.
I mean, there's a ton, well, not a ton, but there's a lot of billionaires in this world and country. You know how quick someone would buy the Brewers for, what'd you say, Josh?
1.6.
Mm-hmm.
You know how long that list would be?
Yeah.
It'd be long.
Especially because,
it'd be long.
I mean, you've got people coming out of the woodwork who are spending more than that on a lot of franchises. We just had a contentious potential takeover of the Minnesota Timberwolves for, I believe, more than that. With a group head by Alex Arrea. It would be long. But I think I firmly believe that Mark Attanasio loves owning the Brewers. He's talked about leaving it for his kids. Sure. I feel like this is something that he enjoys doing. And that's the reason why he keeps it. If you're somebody who's thinking that he should sell the team, it ain't going to happen. So get that thought out of the head. I don't think he's going to sell the team. I just think he needs to, not say things where it makes it seem like winning a World Series isn't a priority. That's the takeaway here. Just don't enrage your fan base during spring training.
He didn't just say it. He meant it. The problem is he said it out loud.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Again, because I would argue that the things that he said, because, yes, you want to be good and you want to you be a steward of the franchise and all these sorts of things. Your job is both. Your job is both. That's the problem. Like, is my job this or that? No, the answer is actually to that question that Mark decided to ask himself is both. Your job is both.
Yes.
And that's where you got to figure it out. We'll get to the top 8. Hopefully it'll be a quick one coming up next. But guys, I'm telling you, if you're making plans to propose to that special someone in your life, the Jewelry Center is the only place to go for the ring. They're the best place to shop for diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee for a reason. It's what I did. Now, maybe you don't know what your future wife wants in an engagement ring. It's easy. You go to her Pinterest page, you bring it in, and you let the team at the Jewelry Center and the helpful team that Dean, the dancing machine, has put together, point you in the right direction. They are going to make sure that dream ring becomes a reality. Whether you're looking for naturally mined diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, they have options, and whatever you're in the market for when it comes to an engagement ring, you're going to find it at the Jewelry Center. Check out the inventory online, shoptjc.com, or stop in at any one of their 3 locations, Greenfield, Brookfield, or in Burlington. You can always find out more at shoptjc.com. And when you go to the Jewelry Center, tell them that Gabe and Chew sent you.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94 backing up from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side's heavy from 92nd to 35th. Other than that, southbound 43 is a bit backed up south of Hampton all the way down towards Center Street. Eastbound on the bypass backing up out of the Hale interchange past Loomis. Tsunami Express's new Oak Creek location at 6900 South 27th Street is now open. Free washes and $5 first month memberships from February 12th through the 23rd, plus 100% of proceeds go to Special Spaces, Wisconsin. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly cloudy. Flurries early, partly cloudy in the afternoon, a high of 24. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 7 above, with a wind chill of 5 above to 5 below. Weather is brought to you by Good Health Saunas. Get your in-home infrared sauna today. Great for post-workout detoxing, skin rejuvenation, back relief, and flexibility. Visit goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Drum roll, please.
Carbliss is here with refreshing new flavors. Introducing their Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Let the summertime flavors of blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, and grapefruit whisk you away from the winter blues. New flavors, same great Carbliss perks. Every handcrafted cocktail still has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories. Find the Tropical Bliss Variety Pack in store wherever Carbliss is sold and enjoy your winter passport to paradise. Grab a pack today and discover why Bliss is more with Carbliss.
Love is in the air at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This February, play to your heart's content in the Love It or Leave It $300,000 game show. Thursday night, you could love your prize or leave it for another. For a chance to cuddle up to thousands in cash and prizes, just play using your rewards card. Get ready to love it or leave it. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at paysbig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
The top 8 at 8.
Name something that follows the word pork.
You pie.
One category.
Name something people take with them to the beach. Turkey.
The top 8 answers.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8.
A food often stuffed. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Name Popeye's favorite food.
Chicken. Oh my God.
Show me chicken.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
All right, I've got a list of 8 things in front of me. And I am going to, okay, we've got the list of 8 things, or at least I had it there. Okay, now we're good. Chewy, Josh, you guys back and forth. Once you each get one incorrect, we open it up to the fans. 800-990-3776. Simple question today. I'm just looking for the top 8 Packers in sacks from 2024.
Top 8?
Top 8.
From
top 8
last
at 8
year?
from last year. Very simple question, very simple list.
Rashawn Gary
is number 1 with 7.5 sacks.
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson?
I don't know his first name. Wilson.
Eric Wilson had 2 sacks. That is outside the top 8.
Great.
Wow. Lucas Van Ness had more than 2 sacks?
Devontae Wyatt
is number 2 at 5.
Edgerrin Cooper.
Coop comes in at 3.5 in a tie for 5th.
Kingsley Enagbare
is number 3.
With how many?
4.5.
I might need help with his name here. Brenton Cox Jr.
Brenton Cox Jr. had 4 sacks. He is 4th. All right, you just have the last 3 on the list, Josh.
Is one of them a defensive back?
And was this your original list, or you needed to get through this segment quickly?
This was my. I'm not going to lie to you. I was struggling to come up with a list today, and this is just really. I mean, every once in a while, you do this every week. You don't, not everyone's going to be a home run. So we've spent a lot of time talking about Packers D-line. So I figured, okay, let's talk about sacks in the top 8.
Here's the thing. I know Keyshawn Nixon had 2 sacks, but I don't know if he had more than that and if he got into the above that. Is Preston Smith on the list because he was there a decent amount of time?
Okay, now you're doing the Jen thing where you're just shotgunning names and you're asking questions.
Preston Smith is going to be my next guess. It's either that or Carl Brooks. Let's do Carl Brooks first.
All right, Carl Brooks is on the list. 3.5 sacks for Carl Brooks.
I mean,
so that ties him for 5th. With Edgerrin Cooper.
Trying to figure out
what a
who
horrible
had 2
list. This
sacks.
is like, give me the top 8 books on Amazon right
And then
now.
Keyshawn Nixon must be on the list if 3.5 makes it.
Is that a question or an answer?
Yeah. See, exactly. See, this is what we deal with every week.
Yeah.
Josh is just playing the role of Jen, of like he's out of names to guess, so he just wants to see if he can trick me into giving him an answer. TJ Slayton had 1 sack. He is not on the list. So we just need the bottom 2. I will say this. They both have 3 sacks.
Wow.
Both have 3 sacks. Number 7 and 8, 800-990-3776. Whoever gets the last one on the list wins an ESPN Milwaukee prize pack. The top 8 Green Bay Packers in sacks in 2024.
This is just whack-a-mole guessing which linebacker or defensive lineman at this point. It could be any of them. Because getting 3 sacks is sort of just what you get for playing a lot of snaps.
Yeah.
It's just, I was on the field a lot. That's what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys that had between 7.5 and 3 sacks.
Let's go next week. Top 8 guys who batted down passes on the D-line.
800-990-3776. You're just upset because Josh took Rashawn Gary and then you decided to guess Owen Wilson.
Well, he started off hot, Didn't he have a couple sacks early in the year, and he just kind of fizzled?
Yeah, Eric, you finished with 2 sacks on the outside looking in. We'll see if Mike from Franklin can close out our top 8 list. Mike, who you got? Top 8 Packers in sacks. We have the first 6. We need number 7 and 8, both with 3 sacks.
Can I either read the 6 back to you, or can you just recap them real quick?
So, Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt, Kingsley Enagbare, Brenton Cox Jr., Edgerrin Cooper, Carl Brooks are the first 6. Incorrectly guessed, we had Eric Wilson and TJ Slayton.
Well, even though he did get many, Lucas Van Ness has got to be on there somewhere.
Lucas Van Ness had 3 sacks, so he is indeed on the list. Do you have the last one, Mike?
Keyshawn Nixon.
Keyshawn Nixon also with 3 sacks. Right. You were right. You didn't guess him. You decided to guess TJ Slayton instead. So Mike closes out the list.
What did Kenny Clark have?
I think it was 1 or 2.
He had 1. TJ Slayton and Xavier McKinney all finished with 1.
Ouch. That stings, Birch.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not expecting Kenny Clark to get, 10 sacks, but
one's good for you.
But 7 or 8 would be more appropriate, I would say.
Yeah.
1.
All right.
Again, I think that just illustrates how important that position is this offseason for the Green Bay Packers. I'm assuming you would agree with that, Chewy?
Yeah. They're not going to do anything, so prepare yourself.
Yeah, Jared in Canton kind of wraps it up, I think, the best way. Man, what a depressing 8-8 list.
Yeah.
With a dedicated Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. For 15 years, we've been serving businesses, organizations, and individuals in the area with a long-standing commitment to the healthcare and not-for-profit sectors. Whether it's expansion to commercial payments, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions to navigate your organization's complex needs. Experience the difference with Fifth Third Bank National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94 backing up from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side's heavy from 92nd to 35th. Other than that, southbound 43 is a bit backed up south of Hampton all the way down towards Center Street. Eastbound on the bypass backing up out of the Hale interchange past Loomis. Tsunami Express's new Oak Creek location at 6900 South 27th Street is now open. Free washes and $5 first month memberships from February 12th through the 23rd, plus 100% of proceeds go to Special Spaces, Wisconsin. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, mostly cloudy. Flurries early, partly cloudy in the afternoon, a high of 24. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 7 above, with a wind chill of 5 above to 5 below. Weather is brought to you by Good Health Saunas. Get your in-home infrared sauna today. Great for post-workout detoxing, skin rejuvenation, back relief, and flexibility. Visit goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's really been amazing, the amount of people that I've had contact me, and the talk is generally centered around QC Kinetics, and whether it's a knee, whether it's a back, a hip, shoulder.
He's always happy to talk about how QC Kinetics all-natural regenerative treatments finally gave him relief without surgery. That's former pro football player Bobby Carpenter.
My message to them is do not wait and push off a week, a month, whatever it is. So if you want to feel better this summer, now would be the time to get in. If you want to feel better in the fall, make sure that you're getting in here so you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Spoken by a man who experienced relief firsthand. QC Kinetics gave this former pro athlete back his mobility, his activity, and they'll do the same for you.
Has really helped me in just my general quality of life.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Brown Deer High School's Amira Grant. The star for the Brown Deers girls basketball squad, Grant, is having an incredible season. 4 50-point performances this season for the Falcons, all coming within the last month. The senior guard leads the state in scoring at over 40 points per game, and at all-time sits top 5 for Wisconsin. Grant will continue her athletic and academic career at the Division I level next season, with the offers starting to pile up. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Amira Grant from Brown Deer High School.
Who's looking for a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Easy there. There's a better way to NBA with the NBA app.
Wait, really?
Follow your favorite teams and the league's brightest stars. Be on the ball with real-time stats and scores.
Yeah?
And go behind all the drama with new docs and shows.
Are you kidding?
Catch every swish, dunk, and bucket. All of this, all in one place, all for free.
Thank you.
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm going to go with the corn dog, the old corn dog. The corn dog for the
pierogies
birthday.
and borscht all day long.
That's just crazy. Nobody likes borscht, let alone
God,
on their
it's
birthday.
so good. It's the only thing that makes my mouth water, other than my wife.
On 94.5 ESPN.
I'm not saying it's your fault, although you could have done more. Oh, you're so naive, yes, so.
John chimes in when it comes to the Mark Attanasio situation. And we played the full quote earlier today since his son, Mike Attanasio, felt like he was misquoted. I feel when you hear the entire question and answer, it doesn't really change anything that he had said. But John on the Carblo Stockett text line, it's a little bit longer one, so, kind of bear with me here. ESPN Milwaukee takes on the Brewers are some of the worst ever. Is my job both? It was a rhetorical question. Furthermore, is it not the city and state who is pressuring the Brewers to do more in terms of entertainment? That's how the Brewers got all the money from the state. It's because we were fixing up the stadium. Part of that plan is to make AmFam a winter concert venue. Who made Mark do that? I recall Manfred first forcing us to spend money on the stadium. Then I remember the city and state threatening to not to pay to keep the Brewers around if all they are is a baseball team. Mark bent the knee to the city and the states, keep complaining and bleeping on the team. Again, all horrible takes.
Let me take this quick.
Okay.
That is categorically the wrong idea of what happened there. What the state did was say, if you want our taxpayer money to take care of your stadium, you need to provide more to the community than just simply a baseball game. So to frame it the opposite direction, as if Mark was some innocent party here that was being attacked by the state, is so wrong. They're taking public funds for something where he has enough money to take care of those things, but they came groveling to all of us and said, give me more of your money. So to pretend that was somehow the other way around, and he was somehow like he was unjustified, he was the one that was suffering that. No, that's not how that happened. And to pretend that is unbelievable. It makes me so
Some people are stupid.
Josh is fired up. Josh is fired up.
He gets fired up.
How have we gotten this far along in major sports and not determined that billionaires taking money from the state is not good for us? They're taking advantage of
Momo. Us. Yeah. What he said.
Quit pretending that wasn't something they said. If you want money, you need to do more. You can't just be your team there. Goodness.
Pants on fire.
Look, however we got to this point, I'm glad they did, because I'm really hoping we get a Royal Rumble here in the next couple of years at AmFam. Got to winterize that baby to get a Royal Rumble.
Yeah. We'll bring Shefty in his robe, too.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine we get Shefty there at AmFam for the Royal Rumble when it comes? But again,
poor suffering billionaires. Won't you think of them?
All right. With that, as long as we're talking about Major League Baseball, just wanted to. Again, John. It was a long text from John, so I felt like he wanted to. Well, so this is actually one for Manfred Chew. They are going to be testing in spring training. So if you happen to tune in for a spring training game, you will see they are going to be testing the automated balls and strikes system. Again, they're taking steps to potentially implementing this for regular season, and the fun part is. You get 2 challenges, Chew. You get 2 challenges where, if you think it was a ball or you think it, whatever ended up happening, you can challenge a call, and then it's like the tennis thing. They put it up on the scoreboard, they have the pitch coming in, and then within seconds whether or not it was a ball or a strike. And if you get your challenge right, you do not lose it. So basically, you get 2 wrong challenges throughout the course of a game.
So you're challenging a computer?
So they have that available. You can challenge the umpire, who's going to be behind home plate. But again, It's just kind of a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree. You have the technology. Why not do it?
Mm-hmm. As they continue to try to find different ways. This is something they've done at the minor league level. They felt like it has worked, and now that this has the opportunity where you can, again, use it in minor league games. I'm not expecting this. Kind of like last year in preseason football games, Chew, in certain stadiums, it wasn't all because they hadn't gotten all the technology into every stadium, where the chain gang was there, but they were measuring first downs by, different cameras and satellites and whatever they had in the technology for, okay, that's a first down, go ahead and move it forward.
Yeah.
So they didn't implement that for the regular season. I'm not expecting them to implement this for the regular season, but it's a step in the right direction.
What I like, and people probably sometimes don't notice it, is they'll have a correction from somewhere, the booth, New York or whatever, and they don't stop the game. They just keep it going, but they move it to where it's correct.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that at all?
Well, so the one thing with the NFL is I just want them to be more transparent when they're doing those quick reviews. Because sometimes you have to use a challenge, and sometimes you don't. But I just want them to be, if that's what we're going to do, fine, cool, let's go ahead and do it. Let's get rid of challenges and just everything.
It seems to work very well.
Oh, yeah. Because
they do it quick most times.
Yeah, exactly. Because, and my favorite thing is it's always under the guise of after further discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder who you were discussing this with. Was it the little thing in your ear telling you, hey, that call was wrong, we got to change this real quick?
But I like how they do it immediately.
Yes.
And I know they review every touchdown.
Yeah.
But I think it was in the first quarter where Kansas City seemingly scored and the guy's knee was actually down. They were on that from the start, and it happened so quickly.
Oh, yeah, that was the first touchdown of the game. It was Jahan Dotson.
Yes. That was great. Move it. Keep it moving along. Keep things flowing. Because the play... That's one of the things I noticed when I retired from playing on how annoying TV timeouts are. You don't notice it as a player.
Oh, because I'm sure you're talking with a coach. You're doing, it gives you a little bit of a break. You've got always something going on in the field. But if you're just watching the game,
When you're watching the game, I'm like, does the game really stop this much? You don't realize it. No, really. I'm like, holy cow, this is annoying. Because a player, you like it. Like you said, you're talking to a coach or you're grabbing more, you're getting your wind back and things like that. But watching it, and it's much better now than it was, say, 15 years ago. But,
oh, yeah, because they used to have
that was brutal.
They used to have the touchdown commercial, kickoff commercial combination that they've basically gotten rid of.
Yeah.
And they've tried to be a little bit better about it. But, yeah, the Major League Baseball thing, again, if you can make the technology make sense, it's super easy for me to go, why aren't we doing this? If you can make the technology make sense, then you need to be implementing it.
Is there a chip in the baseball?
No. That would be wildly expensive. They go through so many baseballs throughout the course of a game. It's funny. I saw a video of Greg Maddux talking about there was a certain pitch. He had just got this 2-seam run on somebody because there was a scuff on the ball. And back in the 90s, if there was a ground ball to short, you still got the ball. Yeah. Now, anytime that ball touches the dirt, they discard it. it's gone.
You see pitchers trying to get the ball back oftentimes. If it like skips in the dirt and it's like the catcher gets it because they know that's an advantage.
Yeah. Well, but it's funny. A lot of pitchers don't even know how to use it anymore because they just discard the ball so much. They don't even know if they got a ball that was scuffed. They wouldn't even know what to do with it anymore.
They would just hold
Does
on
it make
and hope.
that big of a deal?
The scuff on the ball?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can, as a pitcher, if you know what you're doing, you can get a couple inches extra run on whatever pitch you want.
Really?
Yeah.
Just from a scuff?
Just from a scuff. You can manipulate it a little bit more.
It adds grip, and then it provides like a force that isn't supposed to be there.
Huh.
Yeah, like Maddox, Glavine, like all those guys that weren't necessarily fireballers
Old
back in the 90s.
savvy.
Yeah, like they knew what to do with it.
Like, Gabe, let me ask you this, because you're the resident golfer. If there's a little bit of a scuff on a golf ball, are you discarding it?
No,
you're supposed to.
Yeah.
But we can't afford to be.
if the shell of the golf ball has been like penetrated, then I'll discard it.
Yeah.
But if it's just like a mark from hitting a tree, like if it's just a little extra yellow because it hit the tree, that baby's in play.
Yeah, people have done studies and have determined basically any marking to your ball that isn't natural is going to affect your flight path. Now, weekend hackers like myself, not really going to notice because I'm going to miss as much as the ball's going to be diverted. But and it's just not economically feasible. Like you can't be going through 30 balls around 18. That's just not gonna. I don't think your wife's gonna be too happy that you spent another $100 on golf balls.
All right, you learn something every day.
How much could an airline buy you off for? We dive into that coming up next. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text GRIT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text GRIT to 42424. That's GRIT to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sporked called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian. Taste what all the screaming is about.
Bucks fans, join us for our 414 All Nights, a celebration of our diverse fan base where we showcase fan stories and highlight their unique and impactful contributions to our community. Come for the amazing Bucks basketball action. Stay for the recognition of our amazing fan base at our 414 All Nights, where diversity is embraced and every fan is celebrated. Go to bucks.com/impact for dates and details.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
63. What's that?
The number of yards they gave up on the ground against the Philadelphia
It's a Bible
Eagles.
verse, John 3:63. Look it up. Tell us what it
I
says.
thought it was Joe 363, and it was "Thou shalt not get past me on the line of scrimmage."
On 94.5 ESPN.
I think at this point, everybody is pretty aware of the story of the plane that crash landed in Toronto, kind of came down, ended up flipping over. Luckily, nobody died in the crash. There were 76 passengers, 4 crew members. They all survived. And as of Wednesday morning, 20 of the 21 passengers who were taken to local hospitals have been released. So again, that is the good news here. So that was a flight that was offered by Delta, and Delta is now offering, and this is straight from them. It says it is offering $30,000 to passengers who were aboard the flight from Minneapolis that crashed and flipped upside down while landing in Toronto on Monday. This gesture, quote, has no strings attached and does not affect rights. It would take you more than $30,000 to go away if you were on this flight, right? Like, let's just be honest. Like, $30,000 is just not enough.
No. If any company's offering you $30,000, no strings attached, lawyer up. Because they're probably finding themselves a way out of paying a lot more money than you would probably be owed.
Yeah.
Anytime someone's like, here's $30K, go, why? Why would you do that to me?
I couldn't believe, I don't know, I saw a lot of the footage, but there were a couple passengers that got out who are like 10 feet from the plane, and they're texting people while the guys are, and it had to be cold as ever, are spraying foam or whatever at the engine. And they're like, no big deal. 30 grand, no, you're a little light.
I mean, the person who gave us first-person perspective of them climbing outside of the upside down, like, if I'm with you and you pull out your phone after a plane just turned upside down, I'm going to be furious at you. Put your phone away.
Yeah, let's
Get
go.
Me out of here.
Like, we need to move fast.
Yeah.
Like, we are lucky enough that we have survived at this point.
I'm alive.
Get me as far away from this thing as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, jet fuel, not necessarily chill. It burns pretty hot.
Get me out of here. Get me. What's the number? It's got 2 commas in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the nice thing about the $30,000 settlement is there would be no lawyer involved, so it's not like you got to duke out
lawyer fees.
33% of that. So,
well, but still,
you are going to lawyer up. You're going to lose 33%. So there's a little bit of math involved.
If it's $100K, I'll take my 66 and still have double.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, just to not even. Just the audacity of $30K? That's a plane that crash landed, flipped upside down.
I know. What about if they threw in, hey, free flights for the rest of your life on Delta? I'd be like, I'm good.
Sorry.
Let's see what else is out there.
I might be looking over at American.
I don't know. I don't know if Delta is really the place where I want to be right now. Like,
It's unbelievable, though, that no one...
right?
There were no fatalities.
Yeah, and...
It's probably like a car crash because they were probably like, la, 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 we're going to land, and all of a sudden, holy cow, we're upside down.
Yeah, because it just
they say when you get a car crash, it's worse if you see it coming because you tense up.
Yeah.
So maybe there was a little bit of that.
Yeah, and the fact that only one person is still in the hospital, that's it.
Right.
Like, everybody has survived, and this was just on Monday. And only one person still remains in the hospital is the incredible part. So it's not even like, I mean, not only did they all survive, but like there's no there's only 1 out of 80 that suffered injuries that is causing them to stay in the hospital for the better part of a week.
They must have all been come crashing down because you're upside down, and when you release that seatbelt,
yes,
you got to fall.
Yeah, you got to go somewhere. Gravity, gravity, things of that nature
still exists.
I've never had a fear of flying really at all, but with the amount of times I've heard of crashes or things going wrong, it's starting to percolate in the back of my mind. And that's not a place I want to be in.
Like, look, I've got a flight coming up to Vegas here in 2.5 weeks.
Thought about it.
Yeah. Like, is it something I've ever really thought about before? No. Is it starting to creep in a little bit more? Yeah, it is.
It's still definitely safer than us driving to home every day.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I just don't like that it's happening more. Even if it's going from 0.5% to 1%, still don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, low percent chance of things.
I'll take the Meteor any day.
When's your next flight?
What does that mean?
I go to Mexico.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Coming up.
Yeah, that's right. That's even before I go to Vegas.
Yes, it is. Yeah. You guys going to be able to live without me? Josh won't.
That's true. Like, who's Josh going to antagonize on a daily basis? The rest of us don't fall for his simple traps.
That's true. Good point.
I'll just have to get more creative.
Wildy and Tausch, they're coming your way next. This has been Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, 94.5 ESPN.
Eastbound 94 back in